Dun dun. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We meaning me and Trish, but at my house are having some internet problems. Trish ran and reset the router for us, so hopefully it will be better. I tried it on my hotspot and that was not any better, so we are hoping. So if you are new here, and if you don't know my good friend Trish, this is Trish from List Perfectly. She has been here with me for 6 days now. We have been working on inventory and getting stuff straight. And yeah, that's like all we've been doing. Except for I've been making her go to the gym. That's
oh my God, you guys. She kills me every day and she makes me get up early and,
That's what we do.
Sound like a kid.
Is it that way? Yeah. Over there is Sonny, my co-host, Sonny Las Vegas. Below me, you see her in the chat every week. She helps me out more than anybody else. Marsha, Red Cardinal's Treasures. And then Catty Corner, Troy is on for his first time with us. He is the hourly flipper. So we are super excited to have him here. So I'm going to make Miss Marsha big, and then we'll make Troy big and let them introduce themselves and tell them where they can find, where they can find you, where you can find them. So here's Marsha.
Hey everybody, welcome, and I'm glad to be back again. You can find me here on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Perfect. Here's Troy.
Hey friends, I'm Troy, the Hourly Flipper. I'm over on YouTube here on the Hourly Flipper channel, but then also my store is Hourly Flipper over on eBay right now. So come check things out.
Perfect. All right. Get your questions in early. We have quite a few already. I'm going to grab the super chats first. And Alex sent one before we started and sent a $5 super. I hate that we can't see the super stickers on StreamYard. I wish they would somehow figure that out, because that would be great, because there are some cool super stickers. I'm going to give you, what am I going to give you? My whale. Where is my whale? There you go. Trish said I got to change that picture.
It doesn't look like you anymore.
Listen, so we were trying to do something the other night, and I had to verify my identity by my license, and it said I am not me.
Yeah.
I've lost 90 pounds, so I look different, but it would not verify me by my ID. So I guess I need to go get a new ID too, because it was like, nope, that's not you. I'm like,
it is.
I'm like, Trish, how do I look bigger?
You don't.
Like, I mean, it would not, it's told me I wasn't me. And she was over here helping us most of the day today. So special thank you to Elena, Treasure Diva Thrifts. She put in a lot of work here today too. We've been doing a lot. She wants to know, what is your favorite part about reselling?
About reselling.
Is Marsha froze again? Marsha, you can't be freezing.
Your whole thing keeps freezing up on me constantly.
Could you imagine if we tried to make it 1080?
Let me try something. Let me go ahead and skip me on that one, and all.
Troy, you're now in the hot seat. Welcome to the show.
Good deal. So the thing I love the most about reselling are two reasons. The first is honestly that you're doing something good for society. Everybody talks about putting things in the landfill, keeping things from the landfills and those kinds of things. And there is value to that. My focus is primarily on books though. And to keep that particularly this bastion of culture actually, and get it into the hands of people that actually want it, and from the hands of people that don't care for it anymore. I find real value in that. Then just tangibly, I love it that on one day you can make thousands of dollars and you just find the right thing. And I love that that's an opportunity every day. Those are the two things that I really love about reselling.
I would say the same. On top of personally, since I started reselling, I have struggled less and less with my PTSD and anxiety, and it's therapeutic, along with me actually going to therapy that helps me focus on things, that is practical, that isn't something that I'm not thinking about that I shouldn't. It's something I could use in my personal life to give me more control of what I'm doing. And that's really the part that I aim for. It's being successful in my own way and sharing it with others to maybe find their own path. And sometimes reselling is such a special practice. People could start and stop whenever they want and be more and more comfortable. It's something that you don't have to do 24/7. But when you find your place in the community, you really grow as a person. And it doesn't matter how young you are or how old you are. It could be for anybody if you want something for yourself. And if you're tight on cash, it's a place you could go find something for $2 and sell it for $100 or 50. And $50, $300, $200, even more. It makes a change in your life for the better. And I love that. I love that I have control more and more with the more that I learn through it. So that's my favorite part. It's all of the above.
I would agree with everything Sonny just said. I also personally love the fact that that $2 thing you just said, Sonny, it's almost a zero barrier entry thing to get into, right? Everybody has things in their house. Everybody can get clothing for free. Everybody can find stuff on Facebook Marketplace to flip for free. And so what I really do like about it is that anybody can do it, but the more you dedicate your time to it and the more that you learn about this business, you can be very, very successful doing it. And there are very few fields that you can say that about. There are very few things that anybody can do with just hard work. And I really believe reselling is one of them.
Yeah, for me, I think like I saw the treasure hunt, like it's definitely a treasure hunt thing. Like I'm a gambler at heart, and this is a way I can kind of gamble and, with knowledge though, like I'm gotten very good at looking at lots and knowing which ones are, I've just developed the eye. Like she was saying, you put in the work, you put in the time, you learn more, and you can make more money. And there's really honestly, like there's no limit to reselling. Like you could like go up and up, especially in collectibles, there are, $50,000, $100,000 collect if you get to that point, it's there. Yeah, like so a collectabilia, I'm getting ready to start again. Sonny, quit, get out of my head. Or Marsha, whoever clicked it. I don't know which one of them. But that's the cool thing. So I think, and I saw it a lot at camp, is like any age can do this. Like when and it's funny, me and Trish were watching the video the other day, and like it was so like we had somebody that was 88 there and getting ready to start reselling. Like how cool, like what else can you do? You can pick like even in like the blind center in Las Vegas, right? They're all blind and they're doing it.
Right.
Like anybody can do this if they want to do it. I truly believe that, even with physical limitations, because you can sell jewelry, or you could sell, like I was talking about in my video I recorded, like handkerchiefs, stuff that's really light. You can sit at a desk. You don't even have to stand to do any portion of that. Yeah. Dusty's in my head. Everybody's in my head.
Yeah.
So that's why. And like, I love teaching. So like the YouTube aspect for me kind of fills that hole of like not doing the nursing and caring for people. Like I'm able to teach people and help them increase their income. And there's so many different reasons to do it. Like Karen's saying she's doing it to clean the house out. A lot of us are doing it to pay bills. Like LJ said, I'm a capitalist. I think all of us, that's like, we like money, nobody wants to not have money. But the treasure hunt for me is very like, it's the excitement of finding stuff. And like, I buy big lots and then they get shipped here and then I get to look through them and be like, okay, what's in here? And like a few ones ago, I found Givenchy. I found 4 pair of Givenchy earrings and a lot that I had no clue that they were in there. And one pair worth $350. So yeah, that's a big thing for me. Marsha, do you want to answer now? Are you good? Oh, you can't be muted if you want to talk.
Muted.
That would help.
And I'll put it back up because I have to give Eleanor her kitty cat.
Yeah, I didn't hear everybody's quite answers, but yeah, I like the part of just learning different things, new things.
Yeah.
Learning about the different types of items, histories on things, and different niches and things. I think that's what's interesting.
Yeah, it's and there's always something new to like. You will never know ever, even if you're niche down. Like you're never gonna know everything.
Right.
All right, Elena, let me give you your kitty cat. I gotta find it. Here it is. Meow 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 meow. Did I get all of them? Yes, I got all the super chats. All right, so. Hey, I had that too. Said our model is to buy low, less than $1. Items we like to sell for $10 to $20. We sell hundreds a week. Would you rather do this or source and sell things you do not like at all for bigger prices with less percent profit? But the less percent profit, you have to remember, does not necessarily mean less dollar profit.
True. I kind of mix it up a little bit, but I still want to have a good profit even if I'm selling higher priced items too, because I'm not going to overpay for stuff in the beginning. Still want a profit, but yeah, I mix it up. I mix and match.
I think about a third of my inventory is exactly what they're describing, something that like you get for free. Practically anything under $1, that's a great, price point. And then, when it's $10 or $20, what's in my mind usually is I try to flip it for 8x what I pay for it. So this fits that perfectly. The thing though is at the point where it's $20 or less, I put no thought or really no time into it too. That like if I've got to process those lower items, are things where I know exactly where they are. And when it sells, I just go and I get the right bag that I know what it goes into. And that, seconds like to get that fulfilled. That's the point on that, connected to that. If you can get that and do hundreds a week, I think that's awesome.
This was pretty much explaining my first year or two into reselling, finding things back in 2017 for $1 or $2, and it would make me so scared to spend more than $2. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I didn't have very much money coming from Hawaii. I was pretty much on like ends meet, trying to find a job, waiting for my diploma to get here from digital media, and struggling financially. So I couldn't afford just to throw money aside. I was spending $1 or $2 on t-shirts because that's all I felt comfortable on, and even then I had no idea what to look for. I just saw Nike, these go-to brands, and took a chance on them. And luckily, beginner's luck was helping me out along the way. But then I started learning about glass. Fast forward to 5 years ago now, since I've been full-time. Ever since then, I've been getting into glass and more comfortable, building up confidence in what I know and not always relying on my phone, because sometimes the service, say at the flea market or estate sales, even some thrift stores here, it's not intentional because they can't do it legally. They can't block your service. They have to kind of have you go through them. And I've been trying to do research on that. But anyways, to stay on the same path, I like to invest money into what makes it easier for me. If I could find more valuable items for a very low price, like the lumber pieces that I was showing last week, like these
He's
were
still
only
showing them off. He's throwing that in our face. You see that?
They're only $5 a piece. And when I first started reselling, folks, if you see anything like this, pick it up and look for initial or names on the inside. This is vintage 1980s lumber, and I got 5 of them for $5 each, along with some other things. So for less than $100, with the 8 or 9 pieces that I got, it's over $1,000 in value, and that's also resale. Anybody could put a price on something, doesn't mean it'll sell that way, but these are pretty much 99.9% gonna sell for what I'm gonna ask for. And it's all learning. And the beauty about what they're doing is that hundreds of things selling a week that they're finding for $1 or $2. It's what they're happy with. They're finding something that people are overlooking that's valuable to them and making sense into dollars. And that's what you should focus on, is not always try to find what people are finding, because it may not be in your area. But before we went live, I was telling Troy and Marsha this, that I don't gravitate or can't relate to people that say like I can't find anything in my area because of Kat. Like she's always an example.
There's always something.
She's wherever she's at, but she says there's nothing around her. And Marsha said, like, you blink and you'll miss the town. I come from a community that way in Charlotte, Texas, population 1,000. And if somebody like Kat, it's not that she's very special, yes, but what we do makes us special about learning and knowing how to reach out to places, not only in person, but also online. You have to really get outside your comfort zone to really make every effort count. And if you don't, then you're really limiting yourself. And I think that's the beauty about what we do in social media with using smartphones.
Yeah. For me, that was my business model, and I guess technically still is my business model. I have about 10,000 used clothing items. When to be successful at that business model, you need space and you need the ability to ship a lot every single day. And so sometimes that means you need somebody with you. So if you're on a team, my daughter works for me full time, because I do work for List Perfectly full time now. But that's what I did for years before I started working for LP. Now that I have been doing this for about 15 years, I would really like to go to a model that maybe has a little less items with a higher dollar amount. But I agree with Sonny. When I first started this, I was behind the 8 ball. I had closed a consignment store, and I owed everybody and their mother money, and my landlord and my dad and everybody else. And I did whatever I could do to make the money. And those were the items you could get fast and easy and cheap and pump them out. And so it's a really great model, but it's not easy. And I think sometimes people think, oh, low price items, it's easy. It's not easy. It actually can be a lot more work. You're spending the time listing and shipping and doing the things rather than spending the time like you do sourcing and finding the items. Yeah.
And I was going to say, luckily, I don't have to answer this question because I can find high dollar items that I do like to sell. Because like it's hard. Like my bills are not cheap. But I started, and if anybody like go back 5 years and watch what I was selling. You know, I have worked my way up to where I am at. I would buy almost every lot, like box lot that they had for $1 because it was $1, and I was getting a whole box full of things, and I would list every single one of them, whether they were $3 or $30. And I built that up to what it is now. So luckily we don't have to answer this question. And I think like a lot of people, and I know like it's hard to relate because it takes 5 years, but I think if it's something like, well, it's taken me 5 years, you know, it depends on how much capital you have to put into it, but it's taken me that long to build up my business to be able to get those higher dollar items. But I still like, and we were talking about it in her mastermind group, like if I saw 100 items that were the same item that would sell for $10 and I was getting them cheap, I would buy them.
Absolutely.
Because that $110, that's $10,000. Like, who cares if it's a $10 item? So I do though, like our bottom at this point is $25 is what I'm trying to hit. However, that's for the listing. So I think you guys, if you find multiples, remember that. So like if I don't think I would do $5 items. I think 10 is even if it was, I did that before. I don't think I would do that again. I think $10 would probably be like rock bottom for like a multi-quantity listing, but you got to build up to where you save your capital, you reinvest back into the business. And then, you can start being more particular. I want less items. That's why, like, we were talking about the inventory and like Troy was asking if we purge stuff. And I know there's a couple of questions about the inventory, and I am throwing stuff on the floor pretty fast where she's like, no, you did the work. We're putting it up. And I'm like, throw it on the floor because I was her though. I was her not even 3 months ago saying, no, I listed it. I have the room. I'm forgetting it. And now though I'm saying I don't want 8,000 items. I would like to be at 5,000 or less. And that's gonna mean selling things and saying, I'm letting this go. It's $10. It's been listed 4 years. Why is it taking up space? And it's taken me 5 years to get to that point because I never ended stuff before, but I am now. And that stuff is not like, I'm not going and selling it on Whatnot. She saw her. I have a lady that comes, she drives to the shed. I load her car up and she takes it away. and I let her have it free. She just has to take everything I give her. That's my only condition. And we gave her 3 boxes and a big bag today of stuff that I've been pulling. And they'll come every day if I want them. But yeah, so luckily we don't have to answer that. But I think if I had to answer it, I would probably do things I didn't like because I would want to pay my bills.
Agreed.
I mean, to be 100% honest.
Agreed.
I would love to tell you I'd like to kill myself for $10, but I want to pay my bills and not be, I work 24 hours a day. I don't even know why I'm acting like I don't. But yeah, but I'm making more, you know, because I'm finding higher dollar items. All right, let me see. Constance said, hi, Kat and Sonny. I have some fancy bath gel and other products that are liquid in tubes. Can I sell them on eBay and will USPS ship? Thanks.
Yes and yes. But if it has alcohol in it, it has to go ground. And you have to mark that it's liquid.
I think it has to be new though with eBay, right? It can't be.
It does.
Open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be new.
New sealed, and some of them are being particular. And if it came with the box originally, they want you to have the box with it too now.
Oh, geez.
That's a newer thing.
And if they're fancy, they would have the box. That's the difference.
Right. I get stuff though, like I get the beauty boxes and I resell probably like 2 of the 5 products, and most of the time it pays for the whole box, so my makeup stuff is free, which is beautiful. That stuff doesn't come with a box. Like some of it does, but not all of it. I get, you know, like some lotions in tubes and it's just on the shelf, like Bath and Body Works. That doesn't have a box, so I guess that's not fancy. All right. Karen said, if you are going to list books on eBay and are on List Perfectly, is it best to list on eBay and export to List Perfectly? And from there, I could cross to other platforms. So I think those of us that have used it can say our experience. And I don't think it matters that it's books. I want to say that. I do not think it matters that it's books. And you can tell them how you did it and why you do it, and we can just say what we do. And of course, we know she's going to be the expert because that's what she does for work. But as users, I think we should answer what we do and what we think is best.
To me, it was easier to go put it on List Perfectly and then take it to the platforms. Otherwise, you're kind of doing things twice.
And I, by choice, am eBay exclusively, so I don't cross promote.
Interesting.
Now she's going to get you.
No,
You better
I'm not.
watch out.
I'm not. I'll leave you alone, Troy. But it's very interesting. Go ahead, Sonny. Sorry.
Sonny's not even on eBay.
I know. Sonny's not even on eBay. That's what it was. That's why I started to giggle even more.
I'm not on eBay as of last year, but hopefully in a couple of weeks I will be back on there. I was on List Perfectly before. Nothing bad about List Perfectly. I love everybody from List Perfectly. Amazing people, not just because Trish is here, even though she's intimidating. But I just wanted to see, so everybody knows why I'm not cross-listing or on other platforms. It's because I wanted to see how good my items would do at just listing, at the rawest nature form of just listing my items. And I will tell you, I am going back to cross-listing. I've made more money doing that, and I learned my lesson the hard way, but it was my way just to experience. I will say, whichever one you want to list on first, as long as you list it. The whole point is to get listed. When I started, I had put everything from eBay over to List Perfectly until I caught up. And then I started on List Perfectly and then putting it out on other platforms. So when I do restart back on List Perfectly, I don't want to go on other platforms because it was promising and I loved what it was going through. And I know on List Perfectly, whenever I had any questions, I would ask them on their Facebook page and I would get answers right away. So it's not just because of the platform, it's also the people that will respond to me and give me answers to help me move forward on things.
Thank you, Sonny. I appreciate that. I personally think, I love Sonny. I personally think this might not, if it was me, I would start on LP. Kat starts on LP. That's what we've been doing. But if you find, I know lots of people who start on eBay and then import it in. Okay. So I just want everyone to know that I think you have to do what you're the most comfortable with and what works best for you. I would absolutely try it both ways and see, and give yourself a little bit of time on LP because you're so used to eBay that it becomes route, if you know what I mean. But I think you should try it. Oh, here's the dog. Hello, buddy. Hello. Oh, Lord.
Kisses.
That's it. That's all I got to say. Go ahead, Kat.
So, buddy, you're breathing very heavy.
He just ran around the shed, the house, everything.
So for me, for years, I listed on eBay because we were doing Sell Similar. That was how we were doing it. We were listing it from Sell Similar, and so we would list it on eBay, import it to LP. But with Express Lister, the AI Express Lister coming out, that is now how we make our listing. And so, like I say it all the time, like I think for me, LP is worth what I pay, even if I didn't cross post.
Agreed.
Because I am making listings so much faster from Express Lister, and you take the photos, it makes title, descriptions, hashtags for Etsy, which I absolutely love, and I think that's helped my Etsy sales. So now, because we're using AI Express Lister to create our listings, we're starting in LP, and it's really easy because when you put it over, it's picking the category, and I'm not like a category freak. I don't care what category it goes in. I feel like people use the search bar. They're not really searching by category very often. So for years, because I was doing Sell Similar, I did eBay to LP and then LP out. But with using the Express Lister, which is, it's fast, I now do LP and then do it to everywhere. Yeah, I know. They're all happy because they were trying to get me to do that forever. I'm like, nope, I like Sell Similar.
It was a constant fight.
Well, but it's hard. And like, I think everybody knows, like, change is hard. Any change is hard.
Totally.
Like, whether it's good or bad, like for me, like the new stupid promoted things with eBay, like it's all these changes. And like when people or apps update and change, like our phone change, we're all like, because you get used to what you're used to, you're comfortable in it. And I think sometimes, like how I'm doing it now is way faster. It's saving me money. It's saving me time by creating it with the AI Express Lister. But you got to like step out of your comfort zone, right? Like sometimes you're not going to be comfortable because it's new. It's not something you knew. It's not something you've been doing for years, but it can make your process and make your business better.
I just want to answer this real quick.
Okay.
So you know what, Karen? I don't want to pretend I know this because I don't list books. So I'm not.
I feel like you can pull up and can't you mesh the listings?
I believe you can. And Karen, if you join LP or if you're already in LP, reach out to me, Trish@listperfectly.com. Anyone is welcome to reach out to me. I run a mastermind class.
He's chasing his tail.
I know. He's the biggest dork. I run a mastermind class every day at 9 a.m. Eastern, and there's a guy in there called Steve the Book Guy, and all he sells is books, Karen, and maybe you could come in and I could get you guys to be able to speak about this, and maybe he could tell you his process. Steve the Book Guy. See? Gina knew who I was talking about.
Yeah, but I think there's a way, like, because I was asking that when I was doing the Sell Similar, there's a way you can like search the listing and like import all of the specifics.
You can.
So I bet you could do the ISBN. Yeah. And they have a scan tool too.
Yes.
Do you see? He's chasing his tail like a cat.
Yes.
That's what's going on. He's in the shed. All right, we got a super chat from the Stuffologist. And said, thank you for the List Perfectly referral code. Looking forward to cross posting. LP has great support. They really do. And I've been using them years, and like, that's my big thing with most of my referrals. Like, I'm not telling you guys unless I'm using it. With the exception of my Reseller Genie, because I have an accountant full time, but I'm getting ready to start using my Reseller Genie because I don't feel like I have enough insight into my numbers. So I think I'm going to try. And just see if it'll give me more information, and that way I'm using it so I can kind of tell you guys about it too. But yeah, like every time I've needed support, they have a little message thing and somebody gets to me within hours. So
or they just show up at your house and stay.
Yeah,
for
I mean, I have
weeks.
contacts, but But I don't message her. Like,
No, she doesn't.
I don't
You
bother her. I
Nope.
use the regular like help thing. I'm not gonna go because I can, you know.
She could bother me.
I could, but I just send the message, you know, to support, and always really fast and have always gotten back to me. Now, if they didn't, I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like, Trish, they're not answering me. I would yell about it, but they do answer me. All right, she wants the pillow fight, which actually Brooke is in here. I don't know if she's even seen this one, so here you go. We'll see.
Okay. Or I'll.
Real quick, I'm putting on.
She hasn't grown anymore. She's the same size. Dalton has gotten much bigger. Brooke has not grown. That was 3 or 4 years ago. That was a while ago that I took that video of them pillow fighting in the hotel room.
Trish, I just put a question up for you there.
Sure. So we have this thing called Word Alert. We do have some things that are automatically in there that will Velcro, for example, things that. So when you say prohibited, like you can't sell knives on
Like,
even
would it know
butter
you can't
knives.
put Velcro?
Yes, that we have. Yes, it would pop
If
up
there's
and
high
say,
bureau alerts.
Yes, it would pop up and say, "Do you really want to use this word?" Kind of. Are you sure you want to use this word? Because here's the thing. You guys are in charge. We're not telling you what to do, how to list it, what to do, how to price it. It's all up to you. We may say, "Hey, you sure you want to use this word?" But you can still use it. So when you say prohibited, I'm not exactly sure, 100% sure what you mean, but
I think she means like the bureau.
yeah,
I
and
would think the bureau
also
list.
like you can't sell even butter knives on Depop. You'll get suspended, and we have a thing about those kind of things also.
Yeah, and I've been trying to say that too, because I bought a couple of knife lots, and like that's something I've been learning a little more about. And the only places that I can list them is eBay and whatnot. Poshmark does not allow them, unless Poshmark will allow you to do butter knives and kitchen knives, but they will not allow you to do pocket knives, or like I got antique like swords and daggers. You cannot list those on Poshmark, and you cannot list any of them except for kitchen knives on Mercari. So yeah, eBay and whatnot are the only two, and whatnot states you specifically have to put them in the knife category. If you do not, they'll get you if it's not in the right category on whatnot. All right. Alex said, open my phone to check my Poshmark closet, and it opened to a live. When I swiped out to go to my closet, it automatically purchased a $140 Fendi wallet. I contacted the seller in Poshmark within 16 minutes. I'm going to keep clicking and reading. The seller said he was afraid to cancel because they could shut down his closet. I agree with that seller. I hate to say it, but I agree with that seller. Poshmark responded in 24 hours saying they checked my IP. It's a valid sale. They can't cancel live purchases, and I should sell it in my closet to recoup my losses. I have screenshots of everything. The seller shipped the wallet yesterday, and I hate to say it, with me being suspended to 24 hours, I would have done the same thing because I don't want to lose my income for 2 weeks, which if I cancel another sale, that's what's going to happen. If I dispute this with my credit card company, could Poshmark shut down my closet? And has this happened to anyone else? So I don't know if we want to give what we think might, or if you have been in a situation like this. This is hard. It's hard being a seller knowing that that seller is not lying.
Totally not lying. And does everybody know about the new 3% rule? Have you guys spoken
Yeah,
about
we've
that?
talked
Okay.
about it a couple of times. And I talked about it in my video because I got suspended.
Dang,
Yeah. So Marsha, have you had anything like that? So she's the buyer on this end. She's not the seller. She's the buyer.
I don't use Poshmark, so I'm gonna pass that one.
That sounds like horrible customer service. Hey, but I don't involve myself with Poshmark either.
Yeah, I don't sell on Poshmark.
Okay. So Kat, I have something to say about this. I honestly think that the best thing Poshmark, and sellers hate when I say this, but I think the best thing that Poshmark could do for themselves is to allow returns. Because even if Yes, I know. I know you feel differently than this, but these are the things that happen. You get yourself in a position where this person's afraid to cancel the sale. And I understand why they're afraid to cancel the sale, because Poshmark, it's very difficult to figure out what your 3% is. They don't have a dashboard. They don't show us any metrics. Poshmark is in a pickle. I think they're going to come out with something to fix it, but it's taken a while, and people are being suspended left and right. I would be shocked, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I would be shocked if Poshmark retaliated against you for a chargeback. Not a chargeback, a dispute. Don't do a chargeback, because you did do it. Like, you did do the sale. I know it was a mistake, but you did do it.
Yeah. So what reason would you put for a dispute?
I would tell the truth. I would say I was in, and I would like to say, this is not the first time I've heard about people being in a live and buying stuff that they went trying
When
to
they
leave.
went to leave.
Yeah, when they went to leave, or if they were trying to look up a price to see if it was a good deal to buy it, they bought it.
Yeah. See, like I said, yeah, and I thought you could cancel. They're saying it wouldn't. I wonder if that rule doesn't apply to a live sale.
I think that is true.
Because like on Whatnot, when I'm selling live, we're like, all sales are final, no cancellations, like end of story.
Yeah.
So like, this is a crappy situation for both ends. I understand the seller again, because if I cancel one right now, I'm going to be suspended for 2 weeks. So I understand, like, I'm in the same situation. I'm telling you the same thing. I hate to say that, but like, I don't make a ton on Posh, but I make a good amount on Posh, enough to where I would say no. So it sucks, because it's essentially the platform is forcing us to give bad customer service.
Absolutely.
Because we're scared for our livelihood.
And Alex, if I was you, I would sell it. I know what Posh said was stinky, but I would just try to sell it and move on.
On another platform. Don't give them
I wouldn't
fees.
give them the money. I totally agree with you. But I think I would try to just move it along, because you're in a bad situation, and I don't know how you're going to get,
But she could dispute the charge until the credit. But don't, like, you have to tell them exactly what happened. Like she said, I wouldn't want you to say, and I mean, but you did buy it, but it was by mistake, and it was a swipe. It's a sucky thing. So you can't say, no, I didn't buy it, because you did, but it was a mistake.
Yeah.
And like, people always write, and they're like, oh, these people say my kid Dalton bought stuff on my phone on eBay when he was like 3. Like, those stories are, some of those stories are true, because my kid did it.
Right.
Happy to cancel for them. But now, and like previously, I bet you money that seller would have canceled that order for you. But now that they've instated this new rule a month ago, and they're over their 3%, I'm over my 3%, which means any cancellation ends in a suspension. So like, if I canceled now, I'd be suspended 2 weeks. If I came back in 2 weeks and canceled another one, I'd be suspended another 2 weeks. And I do know a friend who's been through 2 14-day periods. I was thinking it would go like the 24 hours, 14 days, and then they'd go to 30 is what I was thinking. But I know somebody who's had 2 14-day suspensions. And for me, we're talking thousands of dollars that I would lose if that happened.
And it's a rolling 3%. So it doesn't reset. So you have to be out of it for 30 days before it resets. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
So meaning if you get one today and tomorrow, it's 30 days out. Even if you get suspended, those two are still counting against you until the end of the 30 days. Yeah.
Well, I was way over 3%, I will tell you. So unless I don't cancel for the next 2 months, I'm not going to, everyone is going to put me over.
Okay.
I calculated my percent. But again, I have to say, with the new rules, like I can't blame the seller, because I would do the same thing, because I know I'm going to be suspended. And it sucks that, oh, look, Steve came in.
Steve, the book guy, I was talking about you.
It looks like that, what's gonna, like, they're forcing our hand. We can't, like, I know, and I don't know, I don't know if, and you could send, Alex, I'm reading your messages, but So what I would do if you have that screenshot, I would send that to the credit card company is what I would do and try and tell them. It's like, it's such like, I hate hearing that because there's nothing that I would try and read, like Kelly, I'm saying, read the fine print to see if it says there's no disclaimer. If there's not a disclaimer, I would try and push back. Alex said I had my phone in my purse and it opened alive. Like I would be raising holy hell. So H. Fuller says, I think you can put a buyer requested to cancel. There is no option on Posh. You just cancel. There is no option for a reason like there is on eBay. I just got suspended, had to cancel another order, but I offered a different product and she offered to she asked to just cancel it. Do you know what your percent is?
And it doesn't matter.
I'm not canceling. I'm not clicking into cancel. So that might be a new option, but I'm not going to find out because I'm not clicking the button. What I did, and I think I told everybody, and I don't care, whatever. I didn't cancel. I sent them cash in the mail. I said, sorry, I couldn't figure out how to cancel on Poshmark. Here's your money. And I'll do it again if I have to.
Well, and
I'd rather risk sending $20 cash in the mail than losing $2,000, $3,000 worth of sales.
And the thing about Posh is it says you have the 3% and that buyer initiated cancel sales don't count against you, but it's very difficult to figure out the 3% because they don't give you the metrics.
I had to count. I had to go and put the dates of 90 days into Poshmark and literally count every single one and then count every single cancellation and divide it to get my cancellation rate, which is way above 3%.
Right. And I would like to say, though, that when you asked them, I was going to do that, but I didn't want them. I'm sorry. When she said she asked and they said to cancel, the thing about it, and this is happening on eBay and Posh, and I believe Etsy. I just want everyone
She's
to be
telling me this, but I don't want to hear it.
I just want everyone to be aware. Kat doesn't like us, but it's true. That all of the platforms now are using AI to read our messages. So even though we say buyer initiated cancel, unless the buyer really does, and they're the first one to say it or the first one to be like, I have remorse or whatever, that's still going to count against you. You may sleep by every once in a while, but if you ask them and they say yes, it's not a buyer initiated cancel.
They still ask.
Sorry.
I still feel like I'm not lying. I'm still going to click it till I get dinged.
I'm just saying, don't expect it to stick.
But what I did, like we had one that it happened. Yeah, I drop ship. If it's on eBay, you can't do that on Posh is the problem. You have to use their label. But on eBay, like I had one yesterday, I couldn't find it. It was $5 item. I bought it from another seller, shipped it to them, and I don't have any problem. And then I'm not canceling. Even if it costs me $10 more, I'll drop ship it before I'm going to cancel. So I'm not even asking my buyer at that point. I am looking for the item. If I find it, I go ahead, I buy it from another seller, I ship it to them, and that's that. But on Poshmark, you can't do that. You have to use their, but I guess you could send them a sticker that says, hey, I shipped this from my friend Trisha's house.
Yeah.
Thank you. You could.
You totally could. There are a lot of ways.
I mean, and it sucks that we have to be sneaky like this, but like this is how we're paying our bills.
Right. And it's getting more and more difficult. They're tightening up the reins. And so we have to be able to, that is why inventory management is so important.
It is. And like we've been doing that and there are some questions. So we'll get to your inventory questions because that is why she's here. Susan said, I've started picking up some vintage costume and silver jewelry. Are there some resources that you could share with me on identifying the stones before I begin listing to ensure I'm legit?
Well, there's plenty of Facebook. Oops, hold on. Sorry. There's plenty of Facebook groups. You can also get a little gem tester. Or if you know, like getting good with a jeweler, they can help you out too.
I was thinking though of like, turquoise, onyx, those kinds of things, different.
I think they mean both. I think they kind of mean a little bit of everything because like when you're in costume, when you're talking stones, you're going to want to be able to differentiate glass from plastic from like
turquoise
lucite
and
from
howlite.
bakelite. Like
turquoise and
there's
howlite, yeah.
jewelry is a lot. Jewelry is a lot.
Yeah.
But like the turquoise, even as much as I do, and I do a lot of the Native American pieces, turquoise still scares me. But the majority of my turquoise pieces luckily come from an auction that specializes in Native American jewelry, and they will identify if it is true turquoise and if it is what type.
Yeah, because there's so many
Sorry,
variations of turquoise, so it's like
yeah.
Do
you do any jewelry, Troy?
I don't actually, but I was just thinking, I really love my Chat GPT. I wonder if, AI, if you could develop an agent to do that.
I think there's a gem identification app. Like
I use rock.
Like
It's
identifying
called rock identifier.
Rock identifier.
I don't use it anymore, but I used to. Sonny,
There
what
are
do you do?
gemstone kits that you could use that actually have gemstones that you could compare yours with. They're usually small in nature, or you could get the photos, but I prefer things that are actual, like physically you could touch. I'm colorblind, color deficient, so it's hard for me to compare things. On my jewelry shows, I am using like the common sense things of like coat to the touch. Is it magnetic? If I have something that claims to be jewelry or silver, or gold, and I do good. But if I could get colors down and understand them more, I know I would do even better. So these things, when it comes to reselling, do make a difference. Most people that have a decent sized town or city have places that sell these things themselves. And maybe you could just step outside and meet up with these people and say, hey, would you be able to help me identify these things? And the more times you do it, and hopefully somebody could assist you on, the less help you're going to need, especially if it's the same things you're coming across. It makes it easier. But for me, I have probably like about a pound of silver jewelry pieces that I have, from necklaces, the brooches, and so on, that I am going to be taking to a jewelry store, a coin jewelry store, and have them identify it for me, and they could test it. Sometimes they charge you, sometimes they don't. The one that I'm going to, I forget the name, but I know how to drive there, and they don't charge people. They're pretty honest, and I like that they're honest and they're open, and though if I want to, I could even get an offer from them if I don't want to sell it myself.
I don't sell it, and I'm not going to pretend to know anything about it. I would call Kat. My husband's in the chat as me, so I am not in the chat. It's my husband. Go ahead.
So I was talking about like there is so much, and like it's still hard for me for some of these pieces. That's why I like, especially with the higher end, I buy from an estate auction that identifies, that I trust. They actually have turquoise experts. I think they have the artists selling some of these pieces, and their pieces more than half the time go higher than what I could pay to make a profit. So I think it's actual collectors buying from this auction, and they do individual pieces. I do not get any of those in lots, I will say. So I do pay when I get them. But with the stones, for me, it was just experience. Like I used the rock identifier app, like I said, and it would look and it would tell you textures, and I sold a ton of it. And I will tell you, I won't call something it if I don't know that it's it. Like I've said that it's like, and amethyst glass is not amethyst, so I've said like amethyst color stone. No, I'll still say amethyst because it's amethyst glass. It's amethyst color, whether it is or not. I do have a presidium. I think if you are selling enough jewelry, it is worth it. They are about $300, but it will identify your most common stones. And most importantly, it'll tell you if something's glass and not a gemstone. But some of the glass pieces are worth more than the gemstone pieces. So don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. Eclectabilia said Skystone Trading has a web page. I agree with the local store. I feel, and we do bring stuff up there, especially gold. I'm really timid about gold. Like we test the gold ourselves, but like I want a second opinion. If I'm, if it's like $1,000 piece, I will bring it to my jewelry store. And they will test ours for free. Now, if I brought a pound, they might not like me, or they might charge me. They might let us drop it off. Like, I don't know that I would expect to like stand there and have them test, you know, hundreds of pieces. Like we dropped our watches off and I don't rush them. They've had them for like 3 weeks, but I'm not hurting for inventory to list. So I don't care when they finish them, and they give me a deal on the batteries. So, yeah, there. Do you watch my show every week?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that most of this is time. And like Sonny said, putting your hands on it. And I say this for anything. Go to an antique store where you can touch stuff, right? Like you can touch it, you can handle it. Because a lot of this is feel. Like the weight of gemstones compared to the weight of plastic is way different. So I can pick up a necklace and tell you if it's plastic or if it's a gemstone. And the cold thing, like that's a clear gemstone trait. So it's just over time. There are tons of videos. I have never put one out because I don't feel like I have enough knowledge to teach somebody that. Like I'm still constantly learning things. Like I told about like how to test Bakelite because that's something I know, but I would never begin to even try and teach somebody how to identify, because there's so like, of course there's like the core stones that we all know, like garnet's out there, amethyst, turquoise is out there, howlite is out there as turquoise. Like those are probably your most common. I see peridot a lot, blue topaz, but I think it's just time and experience of doing it over and over and over. Like a lot of people can't tell the difference between like garnet and amethyst. That took me a while because those are, you know, those colors Sonny would not be able to.
No, Sonny would be in trouble.
I do want to say something about garnets. People look for like often red. There are very rare green garnets that are even more valuable. So when people say certain colors, you should take it upon yourself to actually look into what pops in your head. It's standing there for a reason, and the more you just take a few minutes to learn about something, the more knowledgeable you are compared to other people that are out there. Even though they're not in competition with you, it's still competition to find things, and that little nugget of knowledge can help make a big difference.
And a lot of people like to teach. Like if you're going to like the antique fairs and looking at their jewelry, like they have that knowledge. You could be like, what stone is this? And now you're touching it, you're looking at it, you're seeing it, and you're learning that stuff. Like if I had a booth, like I will talk about reselling all day long. If somebody stops me in a thrift store, asks me what the heck I'm doing with a buggy that's mounded like ridiculously, I will tell them, I will talk to them. That's why I have my channel. I like teaching. And I think a good majority of people, especially in the antique business, they like teaching. Like George will, same thing. Like he will give you a lesson every single time because he has so much knowledge. And I would just say, if you're not sure, put the color of the stone and put that it's a gemstone if you feel that it's cold and that it's a gemstone. And like I said, some of the glass pieces are worth even more money. But a lot of it's going to be time. There are the Facebook groups, there are YouTube videos. I guarantee you there's YouTube videos on how to do it by people that are way more knowledgeable than I ever will be. And you can't ever get too much knowledge. But I think that going in person and touching is like an invaluable experience, because like watching a video is not the same as actually having it in your hand. All right. Tacoma Treasure says, my Samsung Note 9 is old as a dinosaur. What's the best? This is going to be an opinion-based question. I'm going to start it with that. What's the best smartphone for a reseller these days?
Well, it's going to come down to preference. I use the iPhone.
Right. I've got an iPhone, and I've got a further little bit of recommendation. If you can't afford the newest thing, which is the 17 now, don't go below 12, because there's software changed at 12 where you could do so much more photo editing, and it has different processors at 12. So I would recommend going down as far as 12 to get the iPhone. And then if you can afford it, get the Max, series. That third lens helps as you get closer. That's my recommendation. I do have a Sony Note 10 that I use for other, some other video work that I do. They're good in regards to transferring from my phone to the computer, the PC, a little bit better than my iPhone. If that's not an issue, then I'd go for the iPhone just for ease of use.
I'm gonna think outside the box and say some people don't use their phones of any sort for reselling. I know. Shout out to Carry American Arbitrage, even though he doesn't deserve one. I know he uses a scanner for his cards, and it documents on the program that he uses too. And he really doesn't need his phone to be anything but a content creator. And I have a scanner that I've found that's worth like $250. I got for $10 at a thrift store, and I could use it for postcards. And Cameron, can't remember his username, but he does a lot of postcards, and all the majority does is uses a scanner and uses it for listings. So it all depends on what you're wanting to do with reselling. It doesn't mean you need a smartphone. You just got to use the right tools.
But if they want to use their phone, what do you use that works well for you?
My iPhone.
I would buy the best phone you can afford with the most storage.
Yeah.
And I would buy a phone that had the best camera you can afford, because really what we need is high quality photographs. And now that video is, depending on what you sell, you can put video into your listings. And if you're, selling a music box, it could make a really big difference, etc. So I personally, I don't think it matters. I think you just want the most storage and the best camera.
So it's funny because I think everybody here except for me is iPhone. I am Android all the way, but my work phone is an iPhone. And I think we have the 16th or 15th. Now I will tell you, the only reason I have iPhones for work is because Whatnot and district platforms for live selling, the Android does not function properly. If it were not for that, I would not have ever bought an iPhone. I think they are extremely difficult to use, and I hate them with a passion. My daughter is iPhone. She's iPhone. Like, my mom is iPhone. But I have grown up and always had an Android, and I never used an iPhone. So for me, an iPhone is extremely difficult. Like, I want to throw the thing when I use it, even just for live selling. That's all I use it for. And I saw a lot of people in there. I have the S24. The S26 is coming out in, I think, 2 days. And I really would like it because I normally wait 2 to 3 models. And they'll actually give me like $800 trade-in on my phone. So I only have to pay $300 for the new model. So Samsung with their little notifications have me thinking. I don't like it because it's different and I don't know it. I've never used one. So that would be like you guys that are all iPhone, Apple, Mac and trying to run my Android. And I guarantee you're not going to like it. It's what you're used to. It's the platform you're used to. Trish uses her Mac. So even being on my laptop that's Windows based is different. But I think if you're using a Samsung Note, I'm going to say you're an Android person. I would go Android. I wouldn't try and learn a different platform. I will say, if you like your phone as a phone, what I did for my iPhones for work was buy ones that were carrier locked, that could not be activated. Don't get one that's user locked because you can't get in it. I got them carrier locked because the only way I use them is on my Wi-Fi. So you can get them a lot cheaper because you're only using it basically as a camera, And so you can get iPhones way cheaper. And Dalton, now he has a phone number, but before I would get him a nicer phone because he was just using it on Wi-Fi at the house. So I didn't have to, pay it out. When I was listing myself, which now my employee does, and she uses iPhone. When I was doing it myself, I was using my Android, and the S24 takes great pictures. But her saying the best you can afford, I would get the newest model that you can afford to get because technology improved so much in such a short time. That's why for me, and I do the same thing with my GoPro, every 2 to 3 models, even at, like my phone's in perfect condition, no issues. I still want to get that because I do use it for filming, for my social media. I'm taking pictures of my family, so I want like the best quality of pictures for that. And yeah, like just I would get the best phone you can get for your budget, is what I would recommend. And whether and like I said, that's preference. Like I'm not an iPhone person. That's me. Like everybody else on the panel is, but like I can't function on an iPhone. I can barely open and close Whatnot because I'm like, what the, like I get mad. Because I don't know it. I don't know how to use it, but I have no urge to change except for to use it like I use it for Whatnot. And there are other apps like I've found over the years that a lot of reseller apps, it must be easier for them to develop on Apple, or maybe more people use Apple. So most times it's available on Apple first, and then you can get it maybe one day on Android and it'll function half as good, is what sucks. Like that's the case with Whatnot. Like I can't cast on Whatnot to YouTube unless I'm on the iPhone. There's a lot that I can't do. All right. I feel like I'm going to sneeze.
Can I go a little geeky on this point just for a second and talking about things other than phones for pictures? I want to perfect this, and I haven't been able to as of now, but I've got, some of those smart glasses that lots of people like record.
Sonny, you got
video.
some too, right?
The what?
Didn't you get the smart glasses too? I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can take pictures with those. And if it's the Meta glasses, you can set them to automatically upload to like a Google Drive or a Drive, their version of the Drive. And then you can have your Express Lister or your AI things go into there for your pictures. And so that I want to.
So you can just walk around with glasses and do your work and do nothing really, but look at the stuff.
I mean, I think you need to make this happen. I think we're charging you with this task.
There you go. There's an app that works at better, like Zapier is something that works to do things like that. But there's also something called If Then That. That's a service that if it could. I'm working on that, but there's a way to automatically just wear your glasses and by pinching take the picture, and I'm working on that.
All right, we're very interested. When you get that perfected, you have to come back and show us all.
Okay.
I might get kicked off. My computer's acting weird.
Okay, if you disappear, we know why. Cheryl said she's glad Trish hasn't gotten lost in the shed buried on. It's really not that bad. It used to be bad. It's really not that bad. If I quit buying things, I think I maybe have 30 days worth of inventory in here. Which I think you need to have in case we have a COVID where nobody can go get inventory.
Or, I mean, I live in Boston, and we just
have a blizzard.
We got 3 feet of snow, the most snow they've ever had on since 1976 when the last big blizzard happened. So, there are times when you need the inventory in your house. I mean, I think everyone should have backstock.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I would like to have room to put new stuff. Like, my shelves are all full, and I think if they're full, it's about 30 days. I would like one empty to move in new stuff, and then we're going through it. But I have made the mistake, like, I source almost all high dollar now, or it goes to Whatnot. If it's going on eBay now and I'm buying it, it's high dollar. And I have a shelf right here, which Trish can see is it's empty.
It's empty.
But that's because I have stuff on my stove that needs to move in here. And so I have my employee, like, this shelf goes first. And that's because it's stuff that's over $100. And my butt keeps putting $100 stuff and she can't get to the shelves. That's $50 and higher stuff. And I keep doing that. And so these shelves have moved in months because I keep buying high dollar stuff. So, yeah, luckily there's no buried anymore. It's gotten a lot better. And I think, when did I start Death Pile Destruction Group, Marsha? Like 3 years ago? I think she's looking. If you don't know, I have a Facebook group called Death Pile Destruction that I started because it's definitely a problem with resellers. Like when you're buying too much, you have too much inventory, you don't need it, you're not listing. I think and it's not a horrible thing, but I hate to hear people who've been buying for a year and not listed a single thing. That's not the point of this. Just list it. Like Sonny was saying, like it doesn't matter how you're getting, like list it. It can't sell if it's not listed, or if you put it on live sale. And you're going to end up, if you wait this long, like I'm going back through these shelves again. I've stopped it since Trish is here because we're working on inventory. But because that stuff's been sitting there over 3 months, my mindset has changed just in those 3 months that I'm probably going to pull stuff that's on those shelves to go to whatnot or to give away that I before thought was over my price point and that I wanted to list. So death pile destruction. And there's a video, and I think I was crying in the video because I had so much stuff and like, I couldn't stop buying. Like it's a problem, and it's still a problem. And I didn't tell Trish this, like I have an auction. It ends every Tuesday night, and I buy religiously from this auction. And some people that live in that area know what auction it is. And I did not open it. I was like, I am not opening it. I have high dollar stuff. I have like 5 boxes of high dollar auction buys on my porch because I don't need to unbox to list stuff. And I have plenty on my shelves. So my priority right now is inventory, not the fun part that I like, which is going through the auction halls. I have not allowed myself to do that. They are sitting on the porch because inventory is more important right now. And I think as your own boss, you have to make that discipline. And I put stuff on watch on that auction. She watched me research it, but I did not open it tonight when I knew it was ending. And I did not bid on one thing because I was like, I already have 5 boxes on the porch that I am not open. Why am I going to go buy more? And that's the whole FOMO thing, right? The fear of missing out. And I see it and I know there's profits and I want to buy it, but I didn't. And so anyways, I cried on that video because it was so horrible. My death pile, it was overwhelming. It was taking over my house, and I wanted to make a group for support. So that's why I have death pile destruction. I think we have over 20,000 members. When I started
4 years ago, and you have almost 18,000 members.
Yeah. So people post challenges in there. You can find a friend. It's hard to not shop, but if you have too much stuff and you're not listing, you don't need to shop.
Right.
Like that's the bottom line. And so I started that as like a support group, and it's very much needed. Like we don't allow haul posts in there. For me though, again, I only have 30 days worth of inventory, which is not a lot. Even with my auction stuff, I don't have over 30 days. And I think for me, that's kind of important that I know it, it's not more than a month. Before it was like massive. I had like sterling silver bowl worth $500. I forgot I had, and that's the thing. And Marsha's going through her storage units now. She's made a couple of videos of it on her YouTube channel. And she's sourcing her storage unit. Same thing, and it's hard for her. She works at a thrift store in Intake, guys. She sees everything coming in.
So hard. It's so hard.
It's almost like torture.
Yeah.
It is torture. I mean,
Yeah.
I have to admit, I do still pick some stuff up, but I'm being very picky about it because I don't need more stuff. I do not need more.
And it's hard. Like it's so hard. All right. Susan said, I've been away from reselling for a bit. What do you feel is the current feel of the market?
I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, some people are hurting. I mean, obviously prices are up and everything, but if people want something, they're going to buy it. Pretty much.
I think so. I think too. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, especially if, it's like me, I like to sell the vintage and one-off things, more collectible things. Those people have money. They're going to buy. I think it's going to hurt you more if you sell, your typical, like your body wash and things like that people are doing for normal everyday things that they need. But the wants, they're going to have the money to pay for it. I was like, go ahead, Troy.
Well, I think two things of the time right now, if you've not been in it for a while. I think that the current economy, there's a little bit of boost in reselling to people trying to find value. And so I think that's an opportunity for right now. The other side that I think, as far as the feel of the market, I think resellers have a little more of a bad name than they used to, particularly connected in the thrift communities and things like that. There's more open hostility to thrifters or resellers in the thrifting market.
I don't know. This is a good question, and
It is.
I wouldn't know how to answer it any other way than I know what I'm looking for and I know where I could sell it. If I find jewelry, I know I could make money off of it on Whatnot or on knickknacks. If I want to sell glass and get a better price out of it, I'll sell it on knickknacks. I wouldn't do it over on Whatnot for me. But at the same time, I have friends in the reseller community that sell at top dollar for their items, and they had that foundation for them that they built on. Like Kat was saying that she's worked on, for years now for her. So I don't think there's any limits to what you could sell. It all comes down to what you want out of it. What's your goal of why you're reselling?
I think the market's a little soft. Personally, I think that people used to be able to make a full-time living just on one platform. And I'm not just saying this because I work for List Perfectly. I just want to go on record as I would say this. I know it sounds so contrite, but I'm really not trying to be contrite at all. I think you used to be able to make a full-time living on one platform, and there are some niches that you can still do that. But I think a lot of times now you need to have a lot of hooks in the water.
Yeah, and for me, like I'm moving towards the higher dollar items, and I think when you start selling higher dollar items, you get into an audience of buyers that has more disposable income that the economy is not going to affect as much. Like if somebody's buying $1,000 painting, I might have $1,000 painting, but if they're buying $1,000 painting, they're probably not worried about filling up their gas tank, I will say that, and it surprised me, and I haven't even told Trish. She's seen it because she's been here and seen my interaction. But just the last week, I have started getting lowball offers on Etsy, and I've never gotten lowball offers on just the last week. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So for me, I think if you want full-time income, if you're not niche down where you really know your niche and your market and the trends that are going on, then you should sell stuff that people need. Clothing, people need. Shoes, people need. They're always going to need to, like, clothing. And kids are growing. Like, they always need new clothes. It might not be much. That might be that $10 business model, right? 50 cents a dollar and 10. But they need clothes. Or you find the higher dollar wants that are going to be an audience of buyers that have disposable income. Luckily, it seems like jewelry is one of those. Like I sold 2 necklaces for $300 yesterday on Etsy. So for me, and I'm going to agree with Trish, like there is no one platform there's one that I think I probably, if I pushed, I think everybody on the panel knows all my platforms. And say it in the chat too. There is one platform I think I could make a living on if I put the time in it. What platform do you think it is, Marsha? Huh? Are you muted?
No,
I don't hear you.
she's not. Oh yeah, she is.
Yeah, I was. So, yeah, issues over here. eBay.
It's not.
What do you think, Troy?
Oh, no. I need to change them.
I don't know.
The whatnot.
Sonny put it. Trisha's nodding her head,
Yeah.
and they are all. It would be Whatnot, because the longer I say on, the longer I sell. I average $200 an hour in sales on Whatnot, regardless of what I'm selling. I sold linens. I average $200. I sell license plates. I can average $200 an hour. I sell jewelry. It's still $200 an hour. Sometimes it's a little bit more. But I could stay live for 8 hours a day if I had to. I know people that stay longer. I know somebody that makes $250,000 a month on Whatnot. Now that sucker is live for like 10 hours some days, and I'll go in and tell him to go to bed. And it's him and his wife, and I think they pay somebody to ship, but they're doing it. And yeah, not necessarily always lower fees when you start at $3 and your 30-cent transaction fee is 10% of the cost. I have learned that on Whatnot. Not always lower. I have had several shows that are over 20% in fees because almost everything sells for $3 and my transaction fee is 10% of my sale price. So yeah, 100% Whatnot. And do I want to do that? No, because if I did, I'd be doing it. And I know people, including the person I just told you was making $250,000 a month who closed down eBay. Am I willing to do that? No. Am I willing to put my eggs all in one basket? No. But as far like right now, I couldn't, like with the sales, I couldn't make it off of any of the platforms and make a living off of it. I need them all to make what I'm making. But I think if I stopped everything else, and that would almost probably have to be stopping YouTube as well, because I would need to be on there like all the time. But I could make, and I'm not talking about like 40, 50,000 a year. I'm talking like $250,000 in sales and over 150,000 in net. Very easily, on Whatnot, very easily. Troy's like, I'm telling you, like the live selling is where it's at. And I'm not stopping but I get, it's the fast nickel over the slow dime.
Yep.
You know, what do you want? But I can buy plenty of stuff. We've already talked about that. Plenty of stuff.
That also goes back to mixing it up of the high dollar, low dollar thing on eBay. Right. You're mixing up the quick nickels with the slow dimes, just on two different platforms too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Karen wants to know, Trish, are you going to continue going to the gym when you leave Kat?
Karen, you're killing me here. Okay. I'm going to try, Karen. But here's the thing. I'm going to Katie and Vicky. I'm going to Vegas for 3 weeks.
Well, thanks for letting me know.
I'm coming for Vegas, Sonny, for 3 weeks.
Oh, thanks for letting me know.
It's only happening. It's just happening. And then from there, at the end of Vegas, I'm going to Plains to Profit in Omaha, Nebraska. But they go to the gym, and so I've already been told that I have to go with them. So it looks like I'm going to become a gym person.
She's alive. She's still alive. We went, what's today? Tuesday. We went, 2 days last week, or did you only come 1 day last week?
2 days last week.
2 days last week. We've been 2 days this week.
And my legs
I take Wednesdays off. She's free tomorrow. I take Wednesday off in the middle of the week.
My legs and my arms feel like Jell-O.
Yeah, like guys, and I am tooting my own horn because my reputation is me. I do not bring crap to Whatnot. I don't. You're not getting, my stale inventory goes in the back of the Free Ladies SUV. It doesn't go on Whatnot. That's my opinion. I haven't been swimming in months, and it makes me very, very sad. And that comes back to the being your own boss thing and the hour and a half. So if you don't know, I've been going to the gym 5 days a week, most of the time, for 2 years now. And I was going swimming at the springs for an hour every day after the gym. And that's an hour and a half. And I was getting behind on my listings, and I had to tell myself, you can't go swimming anymore. And so hopefully again, once I get caught up, but I had like 550 drafts in my LP waiting on me to be priced and posted. Now I think there's like 250. Which isn't bad, because on a good weekend I can get 100 up easy. I can do 50 a day. But like right now that list is growing because I'm concentrating and only doing inventory with Trish. I'm not putting up new listings for over a week now. But I wish I got to go swimming. What did Trish help you with that we might benefit from also? We're individually skewing everything, and I think that is going to be a big help. We've only been doing clothes. That's all we've done so far because I have a lot of clothes. For somebody who says they don't sell clothes, I've got to stop saying that. And so I will tell you what we did if you're reorganizing. So what I had been doing previously before she got here, me and Elena, Treasure Diva Thrifts, is we would do like a section. So we would take a tote and we would look in the tote and go through the tote or, the shelf. And Trish says, go pull all the clothes. I don't think she realized how many clothes I had. She says, go pull all the clothes. So we went through.
Wait, but I want you guys to know that like a box would have a piece of clothing, a hard good, a radio, freaking a bottle. Do you know what I mean? These weren't like this, right? Thank you, Troy. This wasn't. So some things you would open up and there'd be one T-shirt. Some things you'd open up and there'd be
the
40,
whole box.
The whole box would be clothes. So it was an interesting thing.
So we just went and pulled all of the clothes and put them in bags. Luckily, none of them sold while they were in the bags yet. Let me knock on something. They did sell after we had inventoried them and they were still in the house and not back where they were going to live. But those were easy to find. So I think, and she bags and I didn't bag before. So like all the clothes we're bagging and she uses index cards and we're numbering them. We've started the jewelry. I started before she got here because of losing $200 necklaces. Every single piece of jewelry is now individually numbered and we have them in bins, which I did with a lot of stuff, but I started buying so much. She was putting them in gallon bags and there's 50 items of jewelry. Some of those bags were thousands of dollars just thrown in a drawer. And that's my bad. So now after we finish the clothes, Trish will be gone. I'm going to take a section of jewelry, probably 2 or 3 nights a week. Realistically, I know I can't do it every night. I just don't have the time. And I'm going to take them all out and individually number them and get them into the individual. So I would say individually numbering rather than just putting a tote it's in, I think is going to make a giant difference. Now she just throws her numbers into the tote, like they're numbered, but they're not in numerical order. I want everything in numerical order. So mine are stood up and they are in numerical order. If I'm going to organize, I'm going to we're going to do it if we're doing it.
And so the other thing I'd like to say is that you don't have to have the same system for each thing, right? So she's going to have one system for clothing. She's going to have another system for her jewelry that's going to be reusable bags. The bags for the clothing, she's going to shipping out in the bag because they're about 2 cents each. They're a food grade bag. So they're a nice thin material that can put right inside a poly bag and send it out.
And they come in a roll.
Yeah, and they come in a roll, so you just rip it off. So just figuring out, but having, in my opinion, an individual SKU is so important because you start to lose things. And the longer you're in this game, things are going to happen. And one thing I say to everybody I talk to, which I talk to a lot of resellers, is what happens when you get hit by the bus. And what I mean that is what happens when life happens to you, right? Sonny's life happened when he had this baby, and now all of a sudden he didn't have all the same time that he had before. And so if Sonny was Kat and had thousands of items and had to have somebody come in and pull them for him, could they find them? And would they be able to figure exactly? So Sonny said no. So to me, I want everybody to be able to have somebody else come from the outside and be able to find your items for you. I think it's really important because there is going to be a time when life does something to you, birth, death, illness, you get sick, your husband gets sick, whatever, something's going to happen where you may need somebody to do it for you because a lot of us spend, this is the way we make our living. And so it has to keep going.
Somebody asked what we put each piece of jewelry in. So I have large bags and small bags. Mm-hmm. So this is a large bag. And then I tilted this up. See those little drawers? They're for parts. They're for screws and parts. My rings and earrings that are little are in there.
Right. Like what Sonny
got them.
Exactly.
But it's a parts bin. It's for tools and parts is what I bought them for. But those are thick bags. They're not expensive, but I want to keep the numerical order. So I'm keeping them more for the number system versus keeping them for the value of the bag. So I told her we're going to keep one drawer open in the large and one drawer open in the small jewelry, and all the empty bags will go in there. And then when she lists new jewelry, she'll reuse all the bags before we go adding numbers to new bags. And I think that's been the big thing. And I'm gonna do in tomorrow's video, I'm gonna do a little like excerpt. Like we haven't really done much video because all we've been doing is clothes. Like we're sitting on the couch watching Naked and Afraid for 10 hours a day, skewing clothes. That's what we're doing for the last week. But like today, and I can take video and show, I got
But
from
what are you
Uline.
watching?
Naked and Afraid who don't need clothes. Yeah.
And I never saw it before. And she's watching. I'm like, what is this? It's gross. Can I just say these people are nuts?
So like today we actually got the clothes moved out of the house that were already skewed and bagged. I got my new shelf together, so I can show that in the video tomorrow. I bought boxes from Uline that are like double banker boxes to put the clothes in that I love. They have no tops, but they don't need a top because stuff's bagged. And I'm going to keep making videos because she's probably going to come back in a month or two and do more and help me, because this is probably going to be like until the end of the year process. I have 9,000 items. But like we're starting with the new items. Like today, just an example, like Chrissy came into me and she's like, what am I doing with these? I bought a lot of dollhouse rugs, which that's cloth. So I said, okay, we just emptied a ton of the banker's boxes in the shed. Go find an empty one. And we made that banker's box for dollhouse rugs. And I had 20 that we listed last week. I said, go get the other dollhouse rugs from the other area. And I want them numbered 1 through whatever. And then Trish has us, we're making a rubric. And so it's going to say box X 118 is dollhouse rugs. So if I bought dollhouse rugs again, Prissy could look and just this one banker box is all dollhouse rugs. But I buy them enough that I feel okay
to dedicate
that one box to dollhouse rugs. And I've been seeing a lot. But I told her, I said, if I'm not buying dollhouse rugs and you see that box is empty, tell me, and then we can add handkerchiefs or towels or another small linen item. So what we're going to be doing is like jewelry will be next. And then I might pull all my hankies. I might pull all of my hats. Like I think I have 150 like ball caps, you know, and we're going to do like a category at a time to put it all together and hopefully be able to keep it together. But we talked about this, like I buy big lots, like I bought 3,000 friggin' empty designer boxes that took up 1,200 square feet. If I do that again, we're going to have to rearrange and figure it out, you know, but for now we can get it organized and at least individually skew what we have, which is also checking the inventory that the items are still listed, that they're still where they say they are.
I just want to say one of the reasons it's taking a long time is not just adding the skew. We're changing titles. We're fixing descriptions. If it's the old system, we're doing other things at the same time.
Yeah.
So it isn't just like going through and adding a skew. If we were just doing that, it would be much faster.
Yeah, because if you guys have followed me a long time, you know I was like the queen of no descriptions. I would just copy my title. And some of these listings are that old. So those ones we're using AI Express Lister to use my title and create us a nice reseller description.
Right.
And we talked about this last week, the country of origin. If you don't have it in on eBay, it is not shown to international buyers. So with every piece we're doing, we're also adding country of origin so that it shows to the international buyers, which I think that's a good.
So my question on that origin thing is, what if you had no idea? Because there's so much. Like, I have like the cardboard statues that I get a lot. I don't know where it came from. It's like.
I feel like if they can't prove it, like most of them we put United States, like I feel like if they can't prove that it's not from the United States, like.
Well, they're only going to have the same info you do, right? If they open it up.
There's nothing on it.
If there's nothing on it, there's nothing on it. So.
Good point.
So we're putting United States on most of them that we can't identify.
Because I haven't been doing that.
hopefully, Karen, I just answered your question. Are we almost done? The answer to that is going to be a big fat no, and it's probably going to take until the end of the year. But, and I said it on my video, and I eat my word. I have eaten my words so many times over the years of stuff I said I'd never do. Like I said, I'd never end and sell similar. I did that for a year. I have stopped. I said I wouldn't, I was marking my stuff up. If you guys have watched me for a long time, and always running a sale, so people thought they were getting a deal. I quit doing that. And I've always said I wasn't going to do inventory. And we're finding so much money, whether that's sold items that sold and I had to cancel that sale, or I had to pay to drop ship that sale, or they're not, like, I sold a $50 Cyndi Lauper shirt in 5 hours from relisting it.
It wasn't listed. We found it. It wasn't listed.
That one's, it sold.
No, okay, but it was sold. But
It
it was
sold,
just
but I
in
didn't-
there. It wasn't listed. It had sold and she couldn't find it.
So we didn't know we had it to relist it. And doing the box inventory on the designer boxes, I made probably $500 since I did that inventory on boxes that I had that probably weren't listed for a year because I didn't know.
And I also think when you touch this stuff happens, right? When you go into a listing,
Yes.
you rearrange it and you touch it, you know, the algorithm gods kind of like, oh, wake up a little.
You don't even have to touch it. It's like, oh, why isn't that sold? You see it on the shelf.
True.
And then
It's
the next
very
day it's like,
true.
ching. Oh, okay. I know where that's at.
We were talking too much. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Mark is here. He was here at 9/11, so he was here on time, late for him, and he always gets raw. So here you go.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
I was talking to Rod yesterday. Rod and I still talk quite a bit. So yeah. I don't know how long Trish is staying. Maybe I haven't talked to her about this. I keep going out of focus. It likes her better. So maybe before she leaves, we could do like an afternoon live or something specifically like with the inventory to talk about the inventory. And if you guys have inventory questions just before she goes,
Sure.
maybe that would be good. Okay. Patty said, why does my eBay shipping no longer show priority flat rate envelope? When I polybag items, that's what I usually use, and it's cheaper than Ground Advantage.
I answered her in the chat, but she said she was doing that. But if you
The
use
12 by 9 by 1, I know
if
when
you
they
use,
first
if
did
you
it.
use 1 inch, it won't read it. You have to put 2 inches for your third dimension. So if you have one of your dimensions as 1 inch, it's not going to pull it up. I don't know why, but
Interesting.
I happened on that by accident. So
Okay.
just make sure
that's
you
good
don't
to
have
know.
1 inch as one of your dimensions in there.
All right. Oda Lally with her fun question every week. We always talk about grails, but what is your anti-grail? One item that is objectively valuable, but you don't want to deal with.
Anything electronics or high-end shoes. Not doing it.
Or vintage clothing.
Yeah, smart boy.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
I'll sell anything to make money.
Yeah.
I was gonna call myself something bad. I mean, I mean, listen, there are some things I don't want to sell, as in things that are difficult to ship. So the only thing for me that would make me not want to sell something is if it's really hard to ship. I've never had anything freighted before. I know
We didn't
you
talk
have.
about this big.
Oh my God. So you guys, Kat is watching an auction and she had to go to the ladies' room and I said, I'll watch it. So she hands it to me. And then she says to me, when she comes back, she goes, just look for anything that doesn't have bids on it. So I said, okay. So I go through and I say, this doesn't have a bid. And she'd go, bid this much. And I'd show her, this doesn't have a bid. So it was this advertising piece for a whiskey brand.
Yeah.
And she and I both looked at it and we didn't read the description. I've got to be honest. We didn't read the description. We saw that it was 25.
We thought it was like this big.
Yeah, we thought it was this big. It's huge.
My
and
boyfriend comes home and he's
wicked
like,
heavy.
do you know how big that whiskey? I'm like, I didn't was that big. He's like, it's big. I'm like, oh.
So we went outside and looked at it. It is very
It is,
cool.
it is pretty big. It is really cool, and I cannot find anything like it. And it's an old promo. I almost have the whiskey brand is still around. I almost have half of mine to message the company because if it's one of their old ones, they might want to buy it. But it is like probably almost 4 feet across and 2 feet high.
Really big.
But it's got a mountain and it's got the whiskey thing, and I only pay like $35. So I'll tell you guys why I had her do that, because that's like blind looking, right? So this auction is one I buy from every time they have an auction. I didn't last month. I behaved on that one. But I buy every month, and I know they only get and accept high dollar because I've seen them turn away numerous people with not good stuff while I've been there picking up. And so I know everything in that auction is money. I trust the owners. There are 3 owners of the auction company that they don't let stuff that is not good on their auction block. I trust them 100. So that's why I'm like, their starting bids are 25. So they're not low because they have good stuff. So that's why I told Trish, I'm like, go see what has no bid at $25, because I'm like, we're already going. I've already won lots. I'm picking up stuff. What can I get for $25? And yeah, so yeah, we have that.
I wouldn't want to ship that. I mean, I would do it.
I will
but
freight it. I will freight it. We will not be shipping that. It will be a freight item. I don't have an anti-grail either. If it's legal and it's enough profit, I will sell it. I don't like, there are no qualms. I know some people have certain things they won't touch. I don't have that. I will sell anything. I think we went over the jewelry question. Patty said, like, old concert tees have been worth more money in collectible. Which items do you think will make a lot of money? So like down the road, what do you think could be valuable?
If I had that answer, I'd be rich. I don't know, maybe Disney. I don't know, because Disney stuff can go high.
I was going to joke about Funko Pops, but I think concert tickets, stubs, I think those are, to get the real
I just
paper
lost
ones.
a lot.
I was going to say,
Don't say that, Troy.
You said that, Troy. It was so annoying. She just lost that lot.
And I
you
lost
brought
it
up.
because I talked too long and I
Yep.
missed the bid.
Oh.
Funny. So
Oh.
so really, why do you think that, Troy?
Well, because it's all going electronic, and
So
it's
they
just
aren't gonna be
something,
around.
and there's specific memories, and there's a built-in base of fans of that, and that I think you can make money with anything and a lot, of the tickets. But
Yeah.
I think individually they will go up more into the future.
Interesting.
This was on my brain like a few weeks ago, because what we know right now is vintage, and even the vintage before us that was vintage to people, in about, I would say, 20, 30 more years, plastic is going to be taking over as vintage, maybe even sooner. So I feel like what our vintage is right now is going to be even more valuable. Our vintage was made to last a lifetime and then some, because they have. Unlike plastics that are going to corrode, it's going to be harder. They oxidize. You see the toys nowadays, like they're yellow, even just the plastic, and that matters unless you're just really good at taking care of things. But most of us move a few times in our lifespan, so we're not just thinking about us right now. It's the future of things, and I think it's going to make a huge difference on the quality of life too, where this stuff's going to end up at. So I think what we have already is just going to keep going up in value.
I don't know. It's interesting. My daughter is in her generation of kids, like Liz's age, Brooke's age. I don't know about Brooke, but Liz really feels that it's important to buy secondhand, kind of what Troy was saying. So a friend of hers had a baby and said, we're just buying secondhand items. So they went out of their way to buy secondhand items for this baby, and they give each other secondhand. So I don't know, there may be something to it about the, not having stuff go in the landfill and buying better items, kind of like what Sonny just said, that you can buy a better quality item, even though it might be used and older because they're not making it as well anymore. I don't know.
I think houses are like that too, though.
Yeah, totally.
Like my house was built in 1942 and you would never know it. Like it is built well. I don't know. And I am horrible at trends that like, I will tell everybody, like whether it's clothes or like what's popular, like I'll say on my videos, oh, like my Marcus site's selling all of a sudden. But I mean, so I'll notice like in my own sales, what's selling more, but as far as caring enough to research what is trending, I don't care. I just do what I do. I've never had the interest in like what's popular.
It changes so much anyway. It's like hard to keep up with.
Yeah. Question for Trish. For the sales test, can I put my store?
Yes. Laura, you can do whatever you want.
They're having a big contest on List Perfectly. That's
she can do whatever she wants.
Okay. They're trying to see who can get the best sell-through rate is what they're doing. Michelle says a lot of us are variety sellers. Do you find you gravitate towards certain categories for one reason or another? And tell if you're doing, and I think most of us here are kind of doing a little bit.
Yeah. I like the pottery and I like art glass, kind of like Sonny and Kat do both of those too. I just, if I see something glass, figurine, vase, whatever, I go towards it. That just piques my interest. Huh? What'd you say, Sonny?
It goes towards you. You don't go towards it.
Oh, is that what it is?
About half of my inventory is books, and I love it because they're so small on the shelf, and I've got the bags and the boxes that, just can slide it right in. And again, like I said, the value of it to community and culture, I love those as well. Real story, last week, I bought a book for $1.59 at my Goodwill, and I sold it over the weekend for $350. And if it was pristine, which, you don't get many pristine things at Goodwill, but if it was pristine, they're listed on eBay for $5,000 and $10,000. So that.
Are you going to tell us what it was?
Oh, it's called, please, sure enough. It's called Russian Icons, and it's the religious things that were made between the 1600s and 1900s. Not mass appeal at all, but they, those that are interested in it are willing to pay for those books.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, if you haven't noticed the last few times in the shows here on Tuesday nights that I pick up a lot of glass. I mean, it gravitates towards me. I just love this stuff. It just screams uranium and beautifulness. And I don't think it's because I know what I'm looking at. I think it's because it just stands out on its own, from the Lundberg glass to things like this. And I find it quite often. And I think it's just something that I really like and I love and I appreciate. And I get a lot of comments online saying, are you going to melt down like brass? And I would never. I just love things so much. As an artist, I appreciate it a bit more than just being a reseller. And I don't say just to be lighthearted on the title because it carries a lot of weight with what we do. And I love what stands out to me. And I notice that people like it too. And I just find more of it just because I'm there. It's not because it's random. It's because I'm looking.
I think it's really hard to be a everything reseller. I think it takes a lot of discipline because you need to learn a lot about a little about a lot of things. Sorry. Yeah. And you need to be able to ship a whole bunch of different things. You need to be able to store, you need extra space. So being an everything seller, I think is a discipline within itself. And I've always been niche down. I have always basically just sold used clothing. I'd love to sell pocketbooks, but I can't trust myself, so I don't.
Because she keeps them. See, I don't carry. I do have a lot because I decided I was going to carry them, and I've used 2 of them.
I love them.
But so for me, and I'm surprised I haven't gotten tired of it because if you watch me long enough, probably about 3 years ago, I went through a jewelry phase then too, and about 6 months into it, I was like, I'm over this, and I moved on. I have not this time. It's been over a year that I've been really concentrating on jewelry. And I think the main reason for that is because A, it's small, it's easy to store, it's easy to find really valuable pieces. Not easy, but it's relatively easy to find good profit items
consistently. Yeah.
It gets delivered to my house. And so I'm really happy my linen shows have been doing great on Whatnot, because I love the vintage linens, but a lot of it, like the hankies, are like $15, $20, $25, which is below where I said I want to be. But I can still buy them to do Whatnot shows, because I source specifically for Whatnot as well. My last 2 linen shows have done amazing. So I still have a little bit more to get rid of before I get to go hunt more linen, but I'm excited about and linen's just like jewelry on online auctions. I can find tons of lots of it and get tons of it for low cost. So I think a lot of people undervalue linens. And so I'm excited about that. So I would say my 2 are probably the linens and the jewelry, but like she saw me, when I'm looking at my auctions, I'm looking at every single thing they have, and anything that catches my eye, I'm going to research it. And then I know about that item, whether it's in my niche or not. I'm trying to learn about knives, and knives are hard because there are a lot of them that are super expensive. I think I bowed out at $650 on a knife lot on that auction, because I was just like,
I don't know enough about it.
I can't. I just can't. I would really like to learn about them, because I think those would do well on eBay and on Whatnot as well. So that would give me another kind of dual category to move the lower dollar and the higher dollar. But yeah, mine's jewelry 100%. Where do you guys think the best place to sell lamps is?
Depending on the size, I guess, but eBay, any of the platforms, really. If it's a large one, you can do it locally.
I would wonder if Etsy, where that's more of like a crafty kind of thing.
What kind of lamps? I have
Yeah,
all
exactly.
kinds of lamps.
If you guys don't
I
know this,
freaking
I
love lamps as much as I love glass. And if you have not been following me on social media, like, you would be amazed at the things that I find, to include lamps. I am now, I hate to say this because nobody could ever be as great as the queen of lamps, the crazy lamp lady, right? But I just got called the other day the crazy lamp guy, and I was like, yes, but no, at the same time. I have lamps of all sorts, from Fenton, pristine, hand-painted, Aladdin lamps of Fenton, sign dated. I have about a 5-foot tall Shockware Black Panther, probably 1940s and 1980s lamp, like all kinds of lamps. I freaking love lamps. And the best place that I sell them, the smaller ones, I would sell them like nothing on eBay. But the vintage booth, I had one just not too long ago. I'm going to have another one coming up in a few weeks when they allow us to start moving stuff in. And I do very well with them. I made the last time sold 3 lamps in one morning for over $1,300. I invested less than probably $50 on them, and I have a lot more. It's not just because they're lamps; it's because they're special lamps. They're very well put together, hardly any flaws, and I think I had to say that so that way people know, like, there's a place for everything. Don't just limit yourself of, well, I don't want to just be online. Maybe I should invest in Vintage Booth or a consignment shop as well.
Yeah.
I've never sold a lamp in my life, so there you go.
I've only sold a few. I don't do a ton of them just because of there's a Waterford $1,000 lamp sitting on my shelf right there. I think all of mine have sold on eBay. I do list them all on eBay, Etsy. Poshmark surprises me sometimes, but I wouldn't put them on. I wouldn't put them on.
I'm
She's
just
trying to take a picture.
I'm taking photos so I can prove to my boss I'm working. No, I'm
We're
kidding.
still working. Yeah, so I would say my number one would be eBay. Do any of us on the panel sell live on eBay?
Nope.
I've applied.
And I'm gonna be honest. I know a few people in eBay, and it's hard. They're being very picky at the moment. They are not opening it up very fast. I know one woman out of Pittsburgh who does sell, and she is a small seller. I don't quite know what their criteria is to pick her up. I think it's going to ramp up this year. If you have not applied and you're interested, I absolutely would apply. I know they are looking for an intimate seller.
I don't want to sell intimate.
I know. I'm just saying. I know they're looking for it.
Oh, that might be my anti-grail. No, that's not true because I love vintage lingerie, but I'm talking like intimate infants. Anyways, Darwin, I want to say something this, and I don't know if you're still in here, but said the whole problem with Whatnot is deciding what niche to go with, and then finding enough inventory to sustain that. So far, I have a whole boatload of Stampin' Up! Stamps and clothes to start with. So I'm gonna say, based on what I've been doing the last 6 months, I'll let Sonny, Marsha, I don't think's been doing Whatnot for a little bit, and Troy's not. I decided not to do that, and I've loved it. So I'm doing jewelry, I'm doing collectibles, I'm doing linen, and I did ornaments, but I don't have enough ornaments for a sale, so I stopped that. I think as long as you schedule your show out like far enough, like a week or two. Oh, we are doing license plates too. I just got in more license plates.
And salt and pepper shakers.
I think you can have like 4 or 5 things. Like I'm doing like one show a week of each of those things. And what I'm in a lot, like the guys buying license plates aren't buying pillowcases. You know what I mean? It's different people. But as long, my big thing for me is I make sure, or try to, my heart is to make sure the next one of that show is scheduled. So the last license plate show we did, I didn't schedule another one because we didn't have any new ones. Now I have new ones. And when I schedule that show, I'll probably schedule it 2 or 3 weeks out to let those license plate collectors bookmark that show. And like, they don't know me as a license plate seller. And we did decent on all the license plate shows. So I think if you can't find enough of, and I could find enough jewelry, but like guys selling jewelry 5 days a week, and I love it, but like, then I probably would get burnt out. And actually that's probably why I did 3 years ago. Sonny, what do you think as far as like, do you feel like you have to niche down?
When I started, I was doing pretty good with apparel because I had a ton of it, and it sold so fast. It was amazing. But the thing is to replenish it, to come back. That was the struggle. It wasn't that I couldn't sell anymore. It's that I didn't have enough to sell. I would find 1 or 2 pieces. And I had caught up on all of my pretty much dead stock. So I got away from Whatnot for a while. And I got into glass, and I was selling all my glass. And then I couldn't find enough glass to have a decent sized show long enough for it to make it worth it for me. So when I came back this time around, right before last year sometime, I just said, you know what, I can't niche down. I have all this stuff, and taking away that niche, limiting myself, I just want to sell everything. So I do really well with my Everything Goes shows on Whatnot, because people know when I bring out stuff, I'm not going to be like, well, this is $200, but I'm going to price it here. My thing is starting at $3. Regardless of how valuable it is.
Mine too. I occasionally will do 5, but 90% of the time I do 3.
So Sonny, are you saying that, so if you'll sell anything on Whatnot, no matter what the price point?
Yeah. I've even sold things that people are saying you could keep it because it's worth more. And I'm like, no, because my morals are, I said what I said, and I'm going to stay true to that. And there's another side of being a reseller is that if you say you're going to do something, you follow through with it. Where you're doing it, you're building trust, you're building an hardcore like clientele, and people know that you stand by your word, even if what you are giving is true and something's wrong, you make it right. And that has really worked in my favor for everything. Now, there are some things where I'm like, hey, I'm going to save this for my vintage booth because I want to be fair.
But you don't show
You're not putting it out.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're not showing it.
Yeah, I'm not showing it. But most of the time is like what I find isn't like, oh, I'm being sneaky, I didn't show you it. It's like, oh, I found it. I say it even in my videos, my short videos, I say, hey, this is going to be for my vintage booth coming up. I found this is going to go there. So with that, I try to be as informative as possible. If I'm doing a jewelry show right now, you know it's jewelry because I've been advertising that for a few days, maybe even a week. And during that show, hey everybody, my next show is coming up. I am working on like a scarves and handkerchiefs. I got all these, and they're all going to start at $3. I don't catalog them, which I do want. When my son comes home, I will have more time to catalog things and get more money out of it. But right now I do with what works for me, which is on a limited time, and it works out. Just the past few months that I've been doing this, and with a very little bit of time that I'm able to be on Whatnot, I've been making even more than what I was on eBay before I started it. So I'm very pleased with that. And I know with what I've learned now with here in Las Vegas, where I could get more stuff if I want to. Do I need to? No, but I do pretty good following and reevaluating myself time and time again to know what's actually selling, what's worth getting, how can I get it, and looking at it, not just saying I want to have a show tomorrow, but I don't have it. I'm honest with myself, and I'm informative, and I just keep tweaking little things along the way.
So Darwin followed up and said, until you get a large following, though, $3 starts could be extra risky depending on what you're selling. No, I'm going to tell you $3 starts could be dangerous if you're not buying right. On 90% of the stuff I sell, even if I know it's worth $40, $50, I'm not into it for more than what I'm starting it at. I tell people, like, I did my Sterling show and I was into them $6 a piece. I started them at $5. My average ended up being like $8. So I made a little bit of money. But I'm running 150 items in 3 hours. So I made like 200-ish in profit. Some of them I did lose money on, but I don't know as far as Sonny, like when I first started Whatnot in 22 and 23, I would have 100 people in the room. Now I'm lucky if I can keep 25 because I didn't stay consistent on Whatnot. I stopped selling. Then I had an employee selling under my name, and now I'm back. So I didn't hold the consistency and I didn't hold the viewers. So you as a new seller might get more people in there than I do. So yes, I have the following, but I'll also tell you on Whatnot, and I don't, Sonny's a little bit, I hate to say better of a person, but like, and I don't know if Sonny does this, but for me and from a seller point, if I'm trying to teach somebody how to sell on Whatnot, I would say know your room. Like, I'm not going to put up an item I know is worth $40 when I've sold my last 3 things for $3. You're not going to see that $40 item. You're going to see a $10 or $15 item. And I don't know if Sonny does that. I don't know if he wants to say if he does it, but I will tell you I do. And if I know people like a certain thing and I see that that's getting bid up, I have my stuff organized enough that I can grab more of that thing. And like I had a show that was almost only earrings sold. And for months, I couldn't sell a single pair of earrings. But you better be ready to grab more of whatever the people are wanting and pay attention to your audience and know your audience. Like, and as you're going on more, you'll learn your buyers. Like I could see certain buyers come in. I'm like, oh, I got this phone. I know you're going to like it. Like, you know your buyers if they're regular buyers. Like Sam, which Sam's a good friend of mine, but she buys from me too. Jolie Flips, she loves Art Deco. And I know if she's in the room, and even if she's not in there to shop, and I put a good piece of Art Deco in front of her, she's going to bid. And because she's my friend, like I love Raku pottery. If Sonny put up Raku, I would be bidding. And I think you really, like, I've made $500, $600, $700 with less than 15 people in a show. I don't think you need a ton of money. You just need the right people.
You only need 2. You only need 2.
You need 2 that want the same thing.
That want the same thing, yeah.
So, Sonny, how do you do that at all, or do you just run whatever?
Kind of, sort of. Like there are some pieces like a Victorian silver, not Victorian silver. It was I was running jewelry on this one show. And over on the side, I had just picked it up. I had like over here on this side is my jewelry station, right? Whatever's in front of me, I am pulling and running. And I had just bought some jewelry and put it over here on my desk. And when I was running this stuff, I looked over and I was like, oh my goodness, like I have this vintage Fabergé pendant, and I don't just say what it is. I kind of use as a talking point to communicate with the chat and get their interest into that, right? Like, oh, what is he bringing? What is he talking about? I was like, have you heard of Fabergé? And everybody's thinking eggs, or paperweights. And I brought it over and I didn't say Fabergé. I just said, do y'all know what this is? And people were like, Avon, this and that. And I turned it around and it says original Fabergé. And they're like, holy, I never seen that. Now, like their tension is up, their ears are perked, and they know I'm not just showing it off. I'm going to run it. And it's going to start again at $3. I also said, do you know what's inside here? And everybody's like, it doesn't open. I opened it up and it was the old school paste perfume. And it still had some inside there. And I said, it's running right now. And I got like $50, $60 for it. And that was going price what it goes for on eBay. So I kind of sort of do that. I don't make it intentional where I just keep things to the side. I just happen to catch it and I run it.
I will. I mean, and I'll be completely honest about that. If I know I have only one person in there that's really buying, and I not 100%, and I'm always glad, like I have stuff that's high that I'm so glad when it's a regular buyer that's getting it, not like just some random person that came in the room. Like if it's one of my regular buyers that gets a $50 piece for $3, I'm happy. I'm like, yes, they got it, you know, like not somebody I don't know, because I want them to get the better deals. And but I will set it to the side. But that's not just like the higher price. It's knowing what they want. And like, I know they don't want that type of item. So why am I going to put it up for it just to go for $3 when later? And it's crazy. The linen show. I don't know who all was in my linen show. I put up a really nice set of four napkins, 4 placemats. I got really nice stuff. Most of the stuff was good enough. I would list it on eBay, but I got the lot for $5. I said, I'm putting it on for you guys $3. I don't care what it is. I sold a $200 tablecloth for $10.
Yeah,
my last linen
She
show.
was like, why didn't I look
I
that
saw
up?
it and I'm like, but like, so if I show you it, I'm running it.
Yeah.
I'm not pulling it. And so I put up 4 placemats, 4 napkins, probably in the first, 5 minutes of the show. I did not get one $3 bid. So I waited 30 minutes. New people are coming in, people are funneling out, and that set went for $13. So don't always think because you don't sell it the first time, even in the same show. And I don't know if Sonny cycles back through. I will, because I know there's different people that are coming in. And I'm sitting here like, this didn't sell for $3 and now it just went for $25. Like, what the heck's going on in here? And Mary Jo, I don't know. It was from.
It was yellow and blue.
It was yellow and blue floral, and it's worth over $200.
Yeah, and you also get the things that don't sell. I tend to, especially with my jewelry, I tend to have my don't sell or didn't sell pile. And soon enough, somebody will come and ask, like, hey, can you rerun that again? And I do, and then somebody else is interested. So I'm saying this because when people start your whatnot auctions, don't feel like just because it didn't sell, it won't sell. It's just the right person didn't see it. Just because the people are on your lives and you're seeing numbers, not everybody is always facing the monitor if they're on the computer or on their phone. Sometimes it's good to be verbal about what you have, and they'll run to the monitor and be like, oh, I need to pay attention to this.
And I went down to 10 seconds. I quit doing 15 seconds. I do 10 seconds now. So you literally could blink and it's gone. And I tell everybody every show, if it's too fast for you and you're in there buying, let me know. I'll bump it back up to 15.
Troy, would you ever do them? Have you thought about it?
No, I did when Whatnot just came out. I did a few. I had a lot of comic books, and I did some comic books that way. I noticed, the model of, making the $200 an hour and just lots of, volume. I wasn't so interested in pursuing that.
See, and I know we're going over, so thank you to Sonny and everybody, to Troy and Marsha for saying I know we're going over, but for me, the big thing is that it gives me the ability to buy lots and find those high dollar items, and it gives me an outlet to move the ones that are lower. So, because like I might buy a lot of 100 jewelry pieces and say 5 are worth over 50. So I'm going to pull the 5. They're going to pay for the lot, and I'm going to run the other 95 at $3 starts. So if they sell, I'm at $300 there. That's at $3, which is rare. I don't, it normally, like $5 to $6 average, I would say is probably my average. So I think that's a big thing. You need to buy in lots for Whatnot, or like the storage auction sellers, that are buying a whole storage auction. Sonny has been able to find tons of good deals. Barbara's asking if we do giveaways. Sonny, I know, still does giveaways because I want a gift card from him. I do not do giveaways anymore. And I quit that because of the fact that I felt like 9 times out of 10, it was not my buyers that were winning it. And you can do buyers only giveaways. But if we want to add something as a gift in, we can add it in. I do not do that often, I'll tell you, because most of my stuff is a pretty good deal on Whatnot. People are getting a really good price. 10 seconds is very fast. I don't think Sonny, I haven't seen Sonny do sudden death. I don't do sudden death because I don't like it, but I will tell you, going from 15 seconds to 10, I feel like it almost has a sudden death effect because people are trying to hit the thing. And I feel like I do get probably a little bit more than I was getting before. And I extend for 7 seconds. I used to extend for 10. So I cut it down, and I can run more stuff faster. But this way I can offer people, like, I know Elena, I sold quite a few of salt and pepper shakers that were worth over $50 in my salt and pepper show. Like, if I get a really good deal, like those linens, I think I pulled 3 things and I put the rest in, even though there were a ton of them worth 30, 40, 50, some of them $100. I started at 3. And I think the most they went to was $8. And I wasn't mad about it. I got them for $5. I don't care. You guys make money too. Like,
well,
I'm
and that's
fine.
the thing. Do you think that most of the people in there were resellers?
Yeah.
Sonny, do you think your people who are coming? No, he's saying no for him.
No,
Not-
right when you were asked, right before you even asked, Kat, I was thinking in my head, like, most of my people are not resellers, because a reseller would have bought the items at the $3 start and made, that much more profit. And as far as giveaways, I do giveaways, but not like how I used to, where I'd say, hey, I'm going to do a giveaway. We're going to do this. I found that I was losing on giveaways. With the way I was doing it before. The only reason I do giveaways now, which isn't often, and nobody complains about me not having
They
giveaways.
don't. Nobody ever asked me, why aren't you doing a giveaway? Ever.
Yeah, nobody does. And I think it's just a different group of people that we have. But when I'm doing really good and I want to say thank you and show my appreciation, I will pick up something that I really like, and I'll say, I'm going to do this as a giveaway. Even though my initial intention was to sell it and I was waiting for it to come around to get to, I give it away. But I have to be doing good. I can't be not making sense in the dollars if it doesn't work out.
Right.
I will not do a giveaway.
Yeah, and like me with the linens, like, because I've got so much, like, I found matching sets, and I'm like, who won this? And I'll show it. I'm like, I'm gonna give it to you. I don't sell it. If I find a matching piece, I give it to them. And like and Sean, I don't know if she's in here, she bought some napkins. I'm like, oh, I found some more, Sean, I'm gonna give you these. And she's like, no, run them, because she won the other ones for $3. She knew it was and I'm like, no, I'm giving you them. Because they matched, and I'm not intentionally separating these sets. So if I find a match, I'm gonna throw it in to the person. Like Trish found, and she bought a ton. She was probably the biggest buyer, not the linen show from yesterday, but from last week. And she bought a ton, and she said she had to go, and she had got so much. And I was like, I said, Trish found 3 more balances, gorgeous satin balances. She won the one for $3. Nobody bid against her. She came back in because somebody tagged her. And I'm like, hey, I found 3 more of those gorgeous lace balances. They're in your package. I'm like, I'm giving them to you. I don't want you to buy them. I'm giving them to you because they match. So yeah.
Well, it's a goodwill gesture that builds trust between you and the person without having to run a giveaway that someone who's not buying from you who could win. Yeah, it's a win-win situation.
All right. I ran over, really, really over. I think we pretty much got through all the questions except for the boxes. And somebody asked if I still talk to Julian. I don't talk to him hardly at all, but his wife bought flip-flops from me last week. So I talked to his wife last week. I think we're just both busy, but yeah. So Kayla bought flip-flops from me last week on Whatnot. So let me make Marsha big real quick. Make Troy big. Make sure you follow them, guys. Their links are in the chat as well as the description. So here is Marsha to tell you guys bye.
Okay, thanks for having me on again. You can follow me here on YouTube, and please, you can subscribe. I am getting so close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm about 893, I think, right now. I am in the middle of a series of unboxing my storage unit inventory, so I've got video number 11 in that series coming out tomorrow. And Thursday night, I will be, I'm on co-hosting on another channel, if that's okay, Kat. On Buck Mountain Barn. If you want to come over, it's kind of a more laid back kind of.
Yeah, no, Chris is great.
Yeah, chit chatting channel. We do talk about reselling, but we'll talk about almost anything if you want to come over and just join us in the chat for that. So that's at 7 p.m. Eastern on Buck Mountain Barn. Let me drop the link for you real quick. And yeah, thanks for having me again.
Perfect. Here's Troy.
Thank you so much for having me, Kat. This has been so fun. I've loved it. I would love to come back anytime you would allow me. Co-hosts, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure meeting you both. I'm Hourly Flipper on YouTube. Please follow me on that. And also my store is Hourly Flipper on eBay. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Sonny, what's going on? Where are you going to be?
I've been postponing my whatnots, but for sure on Knickknacks, March 9th at 9 a.m. sunny Las Vegas time, 11:30 Eastern time. I'll be on there. I am going to be running Fenton pieces the same way I do on Whatnot, starting at $3. It's a 3-day event over on Knickknacks, which is owned and run by the Crazy Lamp Lady. And I'm excited. I'm going to start everything at $3 buckaroos the same way I do there. I'm a Libra. I got to be fair.
I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to go to ASD. So I'm going to go, Sonny, we'll do lunch or something.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to be here for a little while longer. And then I'm going to Plains to Profit. Somebody said something about, so it's the Reseller Rabbit, John, Reseller Rabbit. It's his event in Omaha. It's a reseller event. I do not know if it's sold out, but if anyone's in the area, please look at the tickets. Plains.
And you can look at Mike Metco meetups too.
Yes.
He is great about information about all the reseller meetups. Mike and Mary McQueen are amazing at keeping the meetup like what's going on. I will have a video out tomorrow. I'm going to put a little clip of what we've been doing. I feel like you can't see a lot of the progress.
No, we're gonna do a better video.
But I'm going to put a clip in tomorrow just to show you guys what we've been doing a little bit. And then tomorrow at 3:30, I can't remember, I'm doing collectibles or jewelry, one or the other. I have a live show on Whatnot tomorrow afternoon at 3:30. It might say 11:30, but I'm going to change it. So we will see you guys next week. I'm going to not say who because I'm going to get everybody off because it's late. Bye, guys.